Everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about dieting is a dumb way to lose weight. I know that may sound strange because the only way most people know how to lose weight on their own is to diet, right? That's all you've ever heard your entire life. That's all you ever hear. If you're going to lose weight, you're going to go on a diet to lose weight. So why is it dumb? What am I talking about? Well, we have to start with the facts. And the facts are that it's estimated that 85 to 95% of dieters end up putting the weight back on ultimately. They fail to keep the weight off. So it's dumb just simply because of the numbers, the facts, that it's very ineffective. How much faith would you have in something that has an 85 to 95% failure rate for everyone? How much faith would you have in that? How many times would you keep trying something that works 5% of the time? Probably not very often. However, when it comes to weight loss, that's all you do. And that's all you'll ever do probably. Why? Because that's what you've been conditioned to think. When it comes to weight loss, you think dieting, surgery, injections. That's it. Those are the only things you're going to do. So as you may be in the beginning of the new year here on a new diet again, or you may find yourself unable to start a diet because you just can't gather the motivation to do it. The reason is because deep down, you know that dieting is dumb. You know it's a dumb way to lose weight. You know it doesn't work. You've probably lost weight on diets and put it all back on numerous times. And at this point, your subconscious mind, which is smarter than your conscious mind, says, nah, I'm not doing that. And so you probably sit here listening to this apathetic, unable to get yourself to really take any sustained sort of action to actually get your weight lower. And the reason this is because the only way you've ever learned how to lose weight is through dieting. And so I come straight out and say it, the dieting is dumb. Now, you say, Jim, but I've lost weight on diets. So what are you talking about? If diets are dumb, then why have I lost weight? Because what I'm really talking about is not losing weight. I'm talking about living at your goal weight. Your real goal cannot possibly be just to lose some weight and put it back on. Well, you just want to lose weight for a couple months and then put it back on. Is that your goal? And I know it's not. But subconsciously, when you think about dieting, you're thinking about doing something temporarily. You're thinking of a diet as a temporary shift in how you eat so that you can lose weight. And that is why it's so fucking dumb. Because you don't want to just lose weight for a little while. As a matter of fact, there's almost nothing more soul crushing than putting all this effort and energy into losing weight and then putting it all back on. Now, the worst part is that people blame themselves. They say, I'm the reason. It's my fault. I don't have the willpower. I don't have the focus. I don't have the motivation. And I'm sitting here telling you, no, it is the diets and it's the diet mentality. And so the first step of getting out of that mindset and getting on a new path for yourself is to realize that your goal is not to lose weight. Your goal is to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. And it's this goal here that is really true for you. And as soon as you set the right goal for yourself, you open yourself up to the possibility of actually achieving it. Because when it comes down to living at your goal weight forever, instantly you'll start to realize that the old diet techniques are never going to work for you to do that. Why? Because the diet techniques stress you out. They're overwhelming. They're difficult. They're hard. They make your life worse. And so you don't stick with them, even if you lose weight. So the answer becomes, how can I master my weight? How can I live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot? And the answer is, you need to do it in a way that's sustainable, comfortable, and that you can keep up, that makes your life better. Now, the weird thing is that once you start to focus on this, it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. Now, I will let you know that what dieting has seduced you with is fast results. So your addiction to fast results is keeping you trapped. Because as soon as you start saying, how can I begin to move towards my goal this year? How can I be closer to my goal weight or at it by next year at this time? Well, now all of a sudden the answers are pretty obvious. I'll start making some slow, strategic, systematic shifts and changes in how I think, how I live, and how I eat. slowly and systematically so that I can build on top of them so that they last forever. It's not rocket science. It's just that you've been brainwashed by the diet industry to demand instant results. And it's one of the rare areas of your life that you do this with. If you did this with college, you'd never get a degree. If you did this with money, it's called a get rich quick scheme, and they don't work. And so when it comes to weight loss, you've been conditioned to think about getting instant results. And the only way to get instant results is to do dramatic, extreme things. So as soon as you detach yourself from that goal and that idea and begin to focus on the real goal, which is to live at your goal weight, you start to have more of an investment mindset, more of a strategic mindset, more of a long-term mindset. And the irony is that it's easier because dieting is difficult because you're trying to do everything all at once. Whereas weight mastery, we're taking things slower because we're in no rush. We're in this for the long haul. There's a great saying that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And so as you start to expand your time frame, as you start to realize my real goal is to live at my goal weight, to master my mindset, my lifestyle, my eating, so I live at my goal weight for the rest of my life, then we can calm down and start to make slow, systematic, strategic improvements to those areas so that we not only reach the goal, but we reach the goal with a solid foundation and system underneath us that allows us to stay at that goal. And this is why dieting is a dumb way to lose weight, because it's temporary, and it always will be, unless you're one of the very rare outliers that's part of that 5%. And if you've tried dieting for 20, 30, 40 years, I'm here to tell you, you're probably not part of that 5%. So the alternative is what I'm talking about. And if you have no idea how to move forward with this, please go to the link in my bio, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, and read the emails I send you. They're all free, and they will help you get on this path of weight mastery, which I think you'll find not only get you much better results, but it's a lot more of an enjoyable path to walk. And so I wish you the best with that. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. We'll get into them. The clock is ticking on TikTok, and that's a depressing thing for me because I don't know where we're going to go with this daily thing. We'll see. We got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got YouTube. So we'll see if that's enough to sustain all this. We'll see if they really ban it. Yeah, it's a crazy world. So Rachel, how's it going? Paula, how's it going, Paula? Yeah, soul crushing every time. So true. It is absolutely soul crushing. I was reading, a person was talking about how they'd lost a bunch of weight and then put it back on. And they were saying, like, people have lost weight and put it back on, what have you done the next time? And someone was talking about how, do the same exact thing. Oh, do the exact same thing. And I'm like, Jesus, I get it. Right. Cause if something worked before, you say, oh, it'll work again. And so I get that piece of it. But again, that's what I'm trying to say. It's the goal. The goal shift is the first step to really mastering your weight. And the goal shift have to become from, I just want to lose weight, to I want to live at my goal weight. That's the big shift. Because again, I'm not saying, so this person was talking about how they tracked all their calories. Okay. So I'm not arguing that can't work. All these diets can work for a little while. What's Julie saying? Is this good news? Trump executive order will keep it. It was just in the news. Let's hope so. That would be wonderful news to me. I love TikTok. I mean, listen, I was saying this earlier today to someone that if this executive order banned all like short form media, you get rid of Reels, YouTube, shorts, whatever you call it, shit, TikTok. You got rid of all that stuff because you're worried about people's mental health and you think it's affecting attention spans and ambition and motivation and focus. I'm all for it. But again, I don't really understand the specifics of this, and it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. So obviously I'm biased. I like TikTok, and it's been wonderful. Because again, I was talking about this yesterday, but TikTok is unique amongst all the social media apps because the algorithm functions fundamentally differently, where all the other social media algorithms are really network based. So you'll see content from your network, and TikTok's unique in that it's not about your network. It's about your interests. Whatever you're interested in, you'll see a lot of that content. And so when you get interested in a topic, you'll see lots of that content. And it allows you to expand and do all that. So Yeah, just all the Chinese apps get our info. It's a bullshit. Yeah. And I know a lot of people are moving over to Red Note, and that's kind of funny. It's the number one app right now, social media. I haven't signed in there yet, but I'm gonna go check it out. But that's an interesting thing. So I've seen some interesting posts from that. So go check it out if you choose to. But again, if you do want to follow my stuff, if you want to stay connected here, if tuning in here at this time, during the weekdays, is part of your routine at all, check me out. I would say probably Instagram, even though, and I like Instagram, and I use Facebook, but I can't help but feel fucking irritated that it feels, again, if there was like some real security thing, like, oh shit, ban it. You know what I mean? Again, I'm all for that, but I look at it and say, well, I don't really understand, what's this different from everything else? So what are they going to know? Was the Chinese government going to know about me? Because I use TikTok. I don't know. But, anyways, yeah. So over to Instagram. So I think me tends to think that this is a move by a lot of the other social media companies to get rid of TikTok because it's a huge competitor and it takes a lot of attention. But anyways, Instagram's probably the other one. If they do get rid of TikTok, Instagram will be the next kind of primary. What I do here is I'm kind of like, I'm connected into TikTok doing this, and I'm live streaming simultaneously into the other things. And if this does go through, Instagram will be the main one that I'm in, which I do feel bad for my Instagram people, by the way, because when I do restream, I restream into Instagram, and I would say more often than not, it kind of freezes halfway through, so I apologize for that. So, again, whatever. If life hands us lemons with the TikTok ban, we'll make lemonade over at Instagram in the interim. So, yeah, let's see. But if anyone's any questions now about weight loss, get them while you can. Get the advice while you can. I'll miss any. I waited too long on TikTok yesterday to get to the comments, and I missed a bunch of them, I think. And I hate to do that. It makes me feel bad. So anyways, if anyone's any questions over there, feel free to ask them. And any weight loss questions are welcome. Let's see. Jennifer says, hi, Jim. Thrown off my plan this week. Daughter had minor surgery. Giving myself grace. Happy to still be at goal. Longest time at goal in my life. 55 days. Wow. Really impressive, Jen. Because again, to stay at goal through holidays is really, and again, I don't stay at goal through holidays, and that's part of my plan, my yearly plan. Can you believe it, folks? I have a year plan, which I would suggest you all move towards. But so the holidays, I always, let myself indulge a little more than I typically do. Ended up putting 7 pounds on, but again, because it's part of my plan, it's no big deal. But Jen, yeah, staying at your goal weight throughout the holidays. Again, I think that's a testament to the work you've done. Jen's in the program, so I just want to make that clear. But yeah, getting thrown off your plan. I mean, that's what we're really dealing with here. All of us. It's again, dieters are always all or nothing with their weight loss, and Program Yourself Thin, we're all or something. And it's the something. I was just talking about this at a coaching call this morning, that it's being able to exist in the something, which is uncomfortable. Like it's easy to be fired up, motivated, focused, when we're doing everything right, we're getting results and everything's going great. That's the easy part. But the problem is that's always a little fraction of the time. Most of the time, and certainly in the beginning, you're not going to be able to be perfect. You can't be all the time. And then as you lengthen the time frame, there's always bullshit. I mean, yeah, your daughter has surgery, you get sick, you lose a job, you get in a fight with your partner. There's a million things that visit you challenge-wise, and they're going to have an impact. There's no avoiding that. There's no reality. You get to your goal weight and you're never going to have a challenge again. You get to your goal weight and no one's ever going to get sick, or there's going to be any stresses. That's not real. And dieting really builds around this idea that you're going to be perfect on day 1. You're going to be perfect on day 1,000 and just always going to be perfect. And what that leads to is there's no strategy that you all have for how to deal when you make mistakes, when you get off track, when you meet these challenges. You have no strategy to deal with it. This is why Program Yourself Thin, the mastery program, is literally built around the Program Yourself Thin technique, which is the redo rehearsal technique. And it's a 1 to 2 minute hypnotic technique you use at night. It's simple, it's easy. But what it does is it gives you, it's a strategy to help you absorb the mistakes you make, because you're going to make mistakes. Again, this is the dieter's delusion. At the core of it is that you have the ability to just one day, always a Monday, to just all of a sudden you're perfect. And it's absolutely delusional thinking. It's never happened and it's never going to. Now, again, I'm not arguing. Yeah, you can string together a week, a couple months sometimes of being perfect. I'm not arguing that, but it's not going to last because there's no way. Don't bullshit me. I've been doing this way too long. You've never been perfect for years. So instead of hanging our hat on some bullshit idea that it's someday we're going to wake up and be perfect with our eating, which is what you're waiting for, instead we start now right where we are, knowing and expecting that we're going to make mistakes and we're okay with it. And most importantly, though, we have a strategy that we can use when we make a mistake to learn, grow, absorb it, move on from it in a better way. And that's what I think makes Program Yourself Thin so unique and special, is that we expect the mistakes. We're fine with it because we use them. And one of the mantras in the program is mistakes are your greatest teachers. So in the program, we love mistakes. Mistakes are one of the best ways to figure out what your kind of core challenges are. Maybe that sounds crazy, but it sounds crazier to me that there's a dieter who's been struggling with eating for 30 years. Tomorrow's Monday and I'm just going to eat perfectly. What the fuck? What does that mean? You ever thought about that? You ever take a step back and be like, what am I really expecting out of myself with the keto plan, with Weight Watcher? Pick your poison. It does not matter. Pick any diet you want. It does not matter. Go ahead. Tell me the best diet out there. Go ahead. Tell me the diet you're going to be perfect with. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. So you dieters are always waiting for the next big diet to come out. Why? Because what? What do you think? I mean, Jesus Christ, it's 2025. There's no perfect diet. What are you waiting for? I know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for some unbelievable amount of motivation, excitement, and focus to start doing some really hard diet that you don't want to do. You don't think of it that way, but isn't that really what you're waiting for? You're waiting for a burst of inspirato to just start really fighting and fighting against yourself and forcing yourself to act differently and eat differently and count points, do all this shit. Never shows up. And then when it does show up, it lasts for a couple days, usually, sometimes a couple weeks, once in a great while, a couple months. Right? I mean, I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to wake you all up. There's a much better way. And the much better way is to start with where you're at. Don't change everything all at once. It's silly. It's silly. Professional Killjoy, I realized yesterday that I tend to binge after work because it makes me sleepy and gives me the excuse to take a nap. Wanted to order a pizza and sleep, took a nap without the pizza, was just as good. Again, Killjoy's in the program. So she's able to look at things in a much more nuanced, different perspective way. That reminds me, Killjoy, I literally was just doing a call this morning and this person was struggling with their whole lives. They have, when they're reading or doing schoolwork, studying, they'll be eating cookies and bullshit, right? So they just link that together. And so they've been struggling with that for a while. And says, I can't stop eating. And so long story short, I said, listen, the first thing you need to do is gain awareness of why you're doing this. Well, I know I like cookies. No. There's more to it. I promise you. And you got to look at like what's going on there. What's it doing for you? And it's beyond just pleasure. I know that it's pleasurable. I'm not arguing that cookies are pleasurable. I get that. But I'm telling you there's more to it because you're not always doing it. It's just certain times you're eating these cookies while you're reading. And so, holy shit. You know what? Actually, I do it when I get to, I'm kind of like 20% of the way to being done. And I'll eat the cookie as kind of a little boost, a little motivation, a little reward to just get to the end. Okay. Well, now we can have a completely different conversation. So I don't know if this means anything to you, but I'm telling you folks, the reason you're eating the way you eat is not because you don't have willpower. There's a lot of deeper reasons why you're doing what you're doing. And again, Killjoy's saying this, that's absolutely brilliant. These are Again, dieters, oh, the phrase that just grinds my gears. Dieters, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do, Jim. I just need to get myself to do it. No, you fucking don't. You don't. You don't, and you don't. You don't know what to do. And so Killjoy proves that, right? Because Killjoy says, I realized, oh, I eat pizza after work. I have to stop eating pizza. But there was a positive reason you were doing it. And the reason, I know it may sound strange, but folks, you're all strange. I'm strange. We're strange. We're irrational, weird, strange creatures because we're subconsciously driven. We're not conscious creatures. Let it be known. If you were a conscious only creature, none of us would be here because you would just eat the right amount of food the way what you exactly wanted. You'd be like Mr. Spock and you would just do what you're supposed to do and just do it easily, automatically like a robot. Is that how you act? Is that how you behave? And I know it's not. You act irrationally. It doesn't make sense. Well, it doesn't make sense to you consciously, but there is a logic. There is a sense to it subconsciously. And so Killjoy described that, right? So it's like, I like to eat the pizza because it makes me sleepy and then I take a nap. And so we just associate that whole process together. And the benefit is you take a nap and then wake up more refreshed. So once you realize that, then you can take a nap without the pizza and you realize it's even better because now you don't got the pizza in your gut. You know? So that's brilliant, Killjoy. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. What's up, Joy? How's it going? He says, it's me while I'm working and need a distraction from stress or boredom. Yep, there you go, Julie. Yeah. So again, there's always a positive intention behind your behaviors. So a lot of you dieters especially are always so busy beating yourself up for eating the wrong thing, overeating or whatever. You never tend to look at what you're doing. What's the positive reason I'm doing this? No one does shit for bad reasons. It can have bad effects. I'm not arguing that, but you never in the moment do something for a bad reason. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can start to understand what the positive reasons you're doing these things are for. And then once you realize that, then you're in a completely different game. So for example, right, so I talked about this client I was talking about. So if all of a sudden, the whole time they're like, oh, I eat cookies because I'm a lazy piece of shit and I can't stop eating cookies when I read. I've always done it and I can't stop myself. Sound familiar? But we get to the deeper thing. No, the cookies are serving a positive intention in that moment. It's helping me get to that finish line. And Julie's like, oh, I'm snacking in the afternoon at work because I'm bored and I just want to get to the end of the thing. And it's a distraction just to kind of get me through it. And eventually it starts to become the thing you need in the afternoon to kind of get you through the boredom. Okay, well, now we have more understanding of why we're doing it. And now that allows us to create a real solution. Because the solution isn't saying, oh, I'll stop eating the cookie and then I won't get to finish the book. Oh, I won't eat the snack and then I really struggle to get through the end of the day. That's not a solution. A real solution is say, how can I get to the end of the book in a more effective way that doesn't involve a cookie? How can I get through the afternoon of my work in a way that doesn't involve snacks? Now, I know you don't have the answers to that, but you're not asking the questions either. So how are you ever going to get to the answer? And I've worked with enough people to say, especially the afternoon work thing, you're 6 hours into work. Oh, Jesus Christ, let it end, and you're kind of tired, you're bored, whatever. You go get a snack. So what do people do? Well, some people, instead of going to get the snack, because it's not just a snack, it's getting up off your desk. It's a change of scenery. Maybe it's talking to some other people. It is putting some food in your body. It is looking forward to something. So there are aspects to the food, but there's also a lot more. And so once we understand what the real reason we're doing it is, we can start to deconstruct and say, what's a better thing I can do? And what sometimes people do is say, I'll get up and I took a walk outside. Smokers have known the secret for a long time. Smoking, it's not just that they're having their cigarette. They get a change of scenery. They get up, they're talking to their friends. They're getting some fresh air in their face, some sun on their skin, and they're breathing more deeply and relaxing. They're putting shit into their body, but there's a lot of other positive benefits there. So once you realize that, you can keep the positive benefits, get rid of the negative ones. And now we got a real solution. The real solution is, I'm going to stop snacking in the afternoon. I'm going to stop boredom. I'm bored in the afternoon. I'm going to stop snacking. Well, because you're still bored. So again, what's something I can do? Maybe I'll take a 5-minute break and I'll listen to a song. Maybe I'll, do some jumping jacks for 2 minutes, just to move my body. You know what I mean? Again, this might sound silly to you, but it's like the more you start to realize what the real solutions are, real genuine solutions. Dieting doesn't give you solutions. Dieting's just, it's got one tool, willpower, and you just stop yourself. Stop. But it doesn't fix you. And it shows up really clearly like emotional eating. Say you're a boredom eater. Oh, okay, I'm going to stop boredom. Or no, let's do stress. We talked about boredom. Say you're a stress eater. I'm going to stop stress eating. Okay, yeah, you stop stress eating. And so now you're a thinner, stressed out person. Is that really the goal you're looking for? It's not. And so the real solution would be to, when it comes to stress eating, isn't to stop stress eating. It's to how can I relax myself and relieve the stress in a natural way? You see the difference there? It's not just about stopping the eating. It's about dealing with the emotional piece underneath it. And dieters never think in this way. They never go to that level. They're just on the level. I gotta stop myself. I gotta stop myself from eating. I gotta stop. I gotta stop doing that. And what ends up happening is you can do that for a little while. And then eventually there's all this emotional dysregulation underneath you and you can't keep it up. Because again, and that's just the emotional eating piece of it. But, you've been conditioned in this society to use food as your main emotional management strategy. And, that's just everyone pretty much, but especially dieters. You probably aren't very good at regulating your emotions. Most likely you're probably stressed out, all over the place emotionally and don't know how to deal with it. Most likely. Not guaranteed, not everyone, but a lot of people, a lot of dieters. And you use the food as a way not to resolve the emotions or deal with the emotions, but to distract yourself from the emotions. The stress is still there. When you're a stress eater, the eating is not, it's not relieving the stress. It's distracting you from it for a few moments. So it feels like relief, but it's not actual relief because the second you finish eating, the stress just starts ramping right back up again to where it was. Right. Because now not only do you have the stress that was there originally, but now you get the extra stress. Oh God, I did it again. I ate it. Mom, I'm not going to lose any weight. And just the same thing. So again, we got to start dealing with the core issues if you really, want to move forward in the way that I know you do. I know you want more than just to lose weight, which is a whole topic in itself. It's that you don't just want to lose weight, by the way. So what's up, Katie? Like I said, could it be numbness or boredom? Yeah. Love the psychology behind this. Good. I'm glad, Meg. Yeah. And for all of you that like the psychology behind this, make sure you click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session, watch the video. Cause, again, once you understand this stuff, it changes all of it. Again, I always say this, that, the main thing dictating your weight is your mindset. Your mindset is impacting your weight more than anything else. Because your mindset controls the calories, it controls the exercise and the lifestyle, the eating, it controls all of it. And your mindset's bullshit right now. If you're a dieter, you got the worst mindset you could have. Do you not believe that? You're not a dumb person. You're not a person who can't achieve the success you want physically. You're a person who doesn't have the knowledge to achieve it. You don't have the awareness or the understanding or the strategies. And you certainly don't have the mindset. Most likely, again, don't take it personally. I hope you're excited about this. It's nice to know where our limitations are so we can fix them. I hope. But where are you all at? Again, enough of me yammering on. How are you all doing with your weight loss? And I know it's the beginning of the year. I don't know. Are people trying to lose weight? Do they want to lose weight? What are you all doing to lose weight? How's it going? New year, new you? Is you killing it? You thriving? Giving up? Haven't even started? Started and quit the day after? Where are you all at? What could I do to help you out? Give me your questions, your concerns, your thoughts on this. I live this shit all day. I talk this stuff literally every single day, 8 hours a day. But where are you all at? Do you want to lose weight? Do you think it's possible? What's your strategy? That's what I'm interested in. I love to hear people's strategies for how they're going to lose weight. Because a lot of times when you really take a step back and consider what you're really doing to try and lose weight, it becomes very obvious that you don't really have kind of like the emperor's got no clothes, right? You got no plan. Not really. You got vague kind of ideas and tactics, So Flavia says, what about insulin resistance? I struggle with it. So, when it comes to insulin resistance, and again, I don't know where you're at in that process. I don't know if you're like a type 2 diabetic. But so when I say I struggle with insulin resistance, it's hard for me to wrap my head around that, but let's just talk about that for a second. Cause I'll just set the stage. Cause one of the things that bums me out more than anything, considering just the rates of type 2 diabetes just skyrocketing, they coincide almost exactly with the obesity rates, which are skyrocketing. And type 2 diabetes is almost somehow in our lifetime, it's become a thing that people almost just assume they're going to get when they get older, you know? And it doesn't have to be that way. But the irony of it all is that as prevalent as it is now, no one really understands it in much detail. And I know this because I've spoken with tons of type 2 diabetics, don't really have any idea what the fuck's going on. Let's just talk about it for a second. So what leads to insulin resistance? It's glucose spikes. Okay, so let's set the stage. What happens is all food eventually turns into glucose, goes into your blood, and all the cells of your body use that glucose for energy. Okay, so when we spike our glucose, or when glucose goes in our body, what allows the glucose to go into the cells to be used is insulin. And so your pancreas releases insulin when the glucose levels go up, and it kind of think insulin like a key to a lock to a door, and it opens the door of the cell, the glucose goes in there and whatever. Okay. So the big scourge of our time here is that we have foods that spike our glucose levels. Because if you think about it, in the natural world, it's almost impossible to spike your glucose levels. How would you do it in the natural world? It's almost impossible. So how do we do it? We are eating a lot of processed, sugary foods. And these foods, when a food is processed, one of the main things pretty much all processed food has in common is it's stripped the fiber out of the food. Fiber doesn't process well. And so the fiber is taken out. What that means is that we absorb the food way faster. So the difference between eating a cupcake and an apple, right? On top of the fact that they are different sugars. Fruit sugar is different than table sugar. Okay. But let's just put that to the side for a second. When you eat a cupcake, if you think how a cake's made, it's made out of all powder. I'm reminded of this every time I make cookies. I mean, you got flour that's just powdered down. You got sugar powdered down. And you got butter, right? And so you're literally eating powder. Whereas an apple is a lot of fiber. And so the sugar in an apple is bound to the fiber. The sugar in a cupcake's not bound to shit. And so you absorb it a lot faster, and that causes glucose spikes. And so now, it's not just this, it's not just the amount of glucose that you're putting into your body, the amount of sugar you're putting in, it's also the tsunami effect that when you consume like a cupcake or a processed food and there's no fiber in it, it spikes your blood sugar very quickly because it goes right into your bloodstream. And so it's the tsunami effect, and the tsunami effect, if you have a town, you get an inch of rain a day for a month, the systems can handle it. But if you get all of that rain in an hour, it overwhelms the systems, you see? And so in the modern age, the big challenge we have is that we have all these foods that spike our blood sugar constantly. So we go from evolving over millions of years where you could never spike your blood sugar pretty much in your whole life practically. Like a number of times you would have spiked your blood sugar in the natural world. And now we're able to spike our blood sugar 6, 7, 8 times a day. Okay. And so what happens is just like anything else, the more you spike your blood sugar, the more insulin you got to release. And eventually what happens is the cells become resistant to the insulin. It's just more and more and more and more and more insulin to get the job done. And eventually the pancreas gets kind of, it can't put as much insulin out, and it gums up the whole system. And so that's insulin resistance. So I struggle with insulin resistance. If that means you're struggling with your blood sugar, the first solution to that is to start consuming more whole natural foods, less processed foods, less sugary foods, less foods that spike your blood sugar. And so that lowers that down. And so when you eat more whole natural foods, there's a slower absorption, a slower release of glucose into your body. And so that's the first step. Now, the second step, so I struggle with insulin resistance, and that's why I can't lose weight. No, that's it's not in the way you think necessarily. If you're spiking and crashing your glucose all day long, you're going to struggle with weight mostly because when you spike your blood sugar, what happens is, because it's unnatural, by the way, spiking your glucose levels is unnatural. So your body's not good at managing that. So when you spike your glucose levels, a lot of times what your body does is it over releases insulin. And so now what happens is it crashes your glucose levels. And so now you spiked your glucose levels, you've dropped them way down. And now guess what? Now you're hungry and tired. So what do? Spike them again, crash them again. And a lot of you are in this cycle. from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed. You're spiking, crashing, spiking, crashing. So again, the answer to pretty much most weight loss issues always starts with the exact same solution: to start eating a more whole natural food diet. Whole natural foods, because that's what your body's designed to eat. And it resolves a lot of these issues, at the very least deals with them and helps you kind of mitigate them. I hope that helps out. What's up, Bazra? Azra says, hey, Jim, do you have any tips for how to stop eating after running out of calories for the day? Yeah, that's interesting. I think, the secret there when it comes to running out of calories for the day is to take a step back and maybe divvy those calories up a little bit and simultaneously change those calories. So the first thing I want to do is, in Program Yourself Thin, we're always managing our hunger. So if you're getting hungry in the afternoon, I kind of look at what I was eating all day long, and I might shift the calories around a little bit and see how it impacts my hunger. But then simultaneously, what I'm also doing is I'm looking to see like what calories I can take that are kind of processed calories, processed food calories. And I'm looking to see like which one of those can I change and make those whole foods, natural foods. And that's what I would do probably more than anything, because for the vast majority of Americans, the number one thing missing out of your diet is fiber. So I know we always hear about protein, and again, protein is satiating for sure. But the most satiating thing that you can put into your body is fiber. And it's the number one thing missing from most people's diet, fiber. And the main way to get fiber is to eat fruits, vegetables, greens, beans, whole grains, right? And so the more that you put in there, the more satisfied you'll feel. Fiber is like nature's Ozempic. Fiber, you don't even absorb a lot of it, but it stays in your gut, and the good microbes eat it. You produce more GLP-1 hormone, which is what the injections are. GLP-1 hormone is a natural thing your gut produces. When you produce more of it, when you eat more fiber, because it stays in your body and causes your gut to produce more of it. So I would look to transform the calories you're eating into more whole natural food calories, more fiberful calories. And I think that'll help you. But again, what most people do is they just look at calories as calories. Calories are not just calories. I mean, they are on a very, very technical level, but are you going to argue with me that 100 calories of a cookie is the same as 100 calories of an apple? Now, on a technical level, yeah, 100 calories is 100 calories, but don't you think that 100 calories of a cookie and 100 calories of an apple are going to have different effects on your hunger, your mood, your energy levels? So once we start thinking more holistically, I think the secret isn't to try and take the same calories and extend them. I think it's more that you want to transform those calories into healthier calories, because those are going to satiate and satisfy you longer. And that may be the answer you're looking for. Want to reduce triglycerides, will reduce legumes and grains. Not sure what that means. I love to have fruit first before my meal. This is easy, tasty, and definitely helps me feel full and manage my hunger. Yeah, absolutely. The fruit has fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Yeah, absolutely. Again, and I know that there we go, because the dieting world is the biggest bunch of bullshit that ever lived. You get the message now, because I get people asking me all the time, well, what about fruit sugar, Jim? What about fruit sugar? Oh, skip fruit. And I always joke that we're in this crazy world where people are more worried about the sugar in the fruit, the fat in the avocados, the carbs in their vegetables. That is not the stuff that's causing your weight problem, most likely. And so, fruit, for most people, increasing their fruit consumption is one of the best things you could do. Flavia's pre-diabetic. Yeah. So for you, Flavia, that's even more important, Sal says, I'm open TikTok and I see you. I'm going to the gym right now. Nice job. Nice job. Let's see. What's Julie saying over here? Hey, there's Deanna. I was just thinking about the other day, Deanna, because I was we were asking about you, because I know you're in California. So I hope everything, but I think you're a little bit north of all the shenanigans there. So I hope that you're safe and okay there. Julie says, I'm making small changes every day, being prepared with healthy food at work. Yeah, again, Julie's in the program and she's a superstar. She's just killing it. And I'm excited to see where she ends up, because again, she's someone who lost, I think it was 75 or 85 pounds, put it back on, came into the program. And now I think, she's doing it in a much better way. And it's exciting to hear about that. Deanna says, I'm down a couple more pounds over holidays. I've had possibly a few of the most stressful weeks, but I think thanks to PYT, I didn't go into FIT mode and eat a bunch of crap. Damn, Diana, good for you. Or Deanna. Yeah, Deanna, that's crazy. And to lose a couple pounds over the holidays, what? Good for you. You must have lost the ones that I gained. I found. I found 7 pounds. No one ever talks that way, right? No one ever finds 7 pounds. They put them on, right? But yeah, I found 7 pounds, but I'll again, losing, it is funny. I mean, I think people know that one. The language is a funny thing, but losing 7 pounds, losing weight is just such a funny, it's such a funny phrase. The language of weight loss through dieting is so harmful. It really is. It's very confusing because, of course, you don't gain or lose weight. You either eat more or eat less calories, and then the weight goes up or down. But you yourself can't gain or lose weight. No, you can't. You can eat more, you can eat less, and then through some magical process, it turns into weight gain or loss. But you can't just gain weight. Go ahead, lose weight then today. What are you going to do? How are you going to lose weight? You're not. You're going to eat less. You're going to eat more, So, but great job, Deanna. A couple more pounds over the holidays. And Deanna's another one. She's fun too, because again, it's always like curing ourselves, freeing ourselves of that diet mindset. And, weight is just funny. I will tell you, dieting is the biggest psychological, they call it a psych op, or it's an operation. It's intentional. It's a conspiracy. Not to sound like a crazy person, but the dieting industry is not there to help you. Again, I say this every day, and I will say it one more time, that the diets that you're referencing subconsciously about how to lose weight are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company, owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same companies as Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So the diet industry really has ulterior motives. These companies do not want you to eat really healthy foods and stop eating their bullshit and live at a healthy goal weight. They don't. They want to fill your head up with rocks so they get you coming and going. And ultimately, you just keep eating the same foods. So again, so much of mastering your weight is really mastering your mindset. And the part of mastering your mindset is freeing yourself of the diet bullshit. Dieting is a bunch of bullshit mindset wise. Not to say, listen, hey, all the diets have some tactics that are helpful and useful. I would never argue that. I think there's absolutely beneficial concepts to keto, intermittent fasting, calorie counting, all of them, almost all of them. I don't say all of them because there's some pretty crazy shit out there, but pretty much all the diets have some pieces of it that are really useful and valuable. But I have never seen a diet that is a holistic solution to what you need. I've never seen that, because every diet at the end of the day, every workout at the end of the day is just telling you what to do. And your core problem isn't that you don't know what to do as much as it is that you don't know how to get yourself to do it. And so you never learn the real things you need to learn, which are, how do I get myself to eat better? How do I manage my emotions? How do I change my lifestyle? And again, you've got one tool, and it's called willpower. So you try and force yourself to do it. And if you're like most, how that ends up looking is that you're able to force yourself to do it for a little while. And then what do? You always go back to your norm. And so again, there needs to be a transformation of mindset in order to create long-term results. And no diet's teaching you that. And I mean that. No diet. I can't be around more dieters. Go tell me the best diet out there. Go ahead. Now, again, I wouldn't argue with you that it's one piece of the puzzle at best. Wouldn't you agree? Are you at your goal weight, happy and healthfully? And there are people, because I've studied them exclusively. Like, that's what Program Yourself Thin's built on. But they approach it differently than you think. That's why they're getting the results they're getting, and you're getting the results you're getting, most likely. So he says, I like the way you frame the solution to avoiding glucose spikes. Start eating whole fruits, not stop eating sugar. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the more natural whole foods you put in your body. I always do that too. I think with your reading, you should silo it so that you simultaneously you're looking to put good food into your body and you're looking to limit and lower the unhealthy stuff and keep them siloed. And what I mean by that is that they don't impact each other. Because what a lot of people do is, again, they're all or nothing. And so, okay, I'm going to eat lots of healthy food and I'm not going to eat any unhealthy stuff. And then they go and eat a cookie. Fuck it. You got to separate those. So even if you eat the cookie, I'm still going to eat the healthy stuff. And once you get that in your head, that's a very powerful reframe. That served me very well. So he says, eating more bananas or a couple of dates for sugar, sometimes dark chocolate. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we like sweet stuff. Humans like sweet things. So I don't think you have to get rid of all sugar. I think you just have to moderate it, transform some of it, and get to a place where you feel comfortable with it. Yeah, because all calories aren't created equal. That's absolutely true. I mean, that's 1000% true. I don't know anyone would argue with that. I get people that do it, and I get it. I mean, when we get dipshit, I get it. The very, very technical sense, a calorie is a calorie, but in the real world, you can't tell me that 100 calories of cookies is going to cause the same results in you as 100 calories of apple. Again, physically it will. If I put you in jail and I said, okay, here's 100 calories of cookies and here's 100 calories of apples, it's not going to be any different. But in the real world, that cookie is going to cause you to eat a lot more cookies. Whereas the apple, you're not going to, when you finish the cookie, you crave lots more cookies. When you finish the apple, you're not craving a lot more apples. That's the difference right there. And the main thing controlling your weight is your hunger. Do you not believe this? What do you think the injections are doing? Which, that actually is an interesting question. A lot of people out there think these injections are magically, people are eating the same and just losing weight now. Nope. What the injections do, it's GLP-1 hormone, and it raises it in your body. It's something you naturally produce, but it raises in your body artificially, and it reduces your hunger. And guess what happens when your hunger's lower? You eat less. And guess what happens when you consume less calories? You lose weight. So again, it's all about managing your hunger. And so in that context, to say a calorie is a calorie, if someone's saying that in that context, they'd sound like a fucking idiot. Sorry to use such strong language, but sometimes we got to get through the bullshit. So like I've had people that smug people. It's always smug people telling me a calorie is a calorie as if I don't understand science, which I don't. I'm not a scientist, but I don't give a shit. I get it. I get a calorie is a calorie in a very technical scientific sense, but in the real world, those calories are going to encourage you to act much differently, which type you're consuming. So there's that. But what other challenges are people having? How is the new year going? I mean, are people, I am trying to get my general sense. What's up, Don? My general sense is that people are not as motivated this year at the beginning of the year to lose weight as they typically are. And I don't know if that's accurate or not, but again, I think there's a general stress level and apathy in the world that's probably contributing to a lot of this. But whatever you're all dealing with. I hope Julie's right. I hope that, I don't know, you never can trust anything anymore, but I hope Trump comes in here and saves the day with TikTok. That'd be cool. All right. Let's see. Yeah, don't say. I think many are on the drugs. I think so too. I think I agree with that. I think a lot of people that really want to lose weight are on the drugs because you got to be pretty motivated to do that. I would say, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of the motivated people are on the drugs because it takes a lot of motivation to inject yourself with this shit and to live with it. It's not, again, it's not this magical thing. I mean, it's an experience, and you gotta do other stuff as well. It's a supplement. It's a strong supplement. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but you do have to make some other shifts and changes typically as well. And it's a commitment because it's not the most pleasant feeling from what I understand. These medicines they're intense. I mean, these are intense ass medicines. And so, the effects of living with those, I think you got to be pretty motivated. So I think it is true. I think a lot of people that are actually motivated with their weight have been on the drugs, and other people, you hear me say this every day, but most people, I believe most people weigh what they want to weigh, which is another way to say that most people aren't really that motivated to lose weight anyways. As it says, anxiety stepping on the scale is currently my issue. Yeah, scale anxiety. Um, that's such an interesting conversation. I got into this. I have one of my long-term coaching groups yesterday. We were talking about the scale, and it's so fun. One of my favorite groups to work with because, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes you go, oh, is it just me that it feels this way? And it's not. You know what I mean? Like when you do certain things a certain way, you start to feel differently. And the scale is one of those things. So I know a lot of dieters are terrified of the scale. And Program Yourself Thin, I always suggest that when you're actively losing weight, step on the scale every day, for a lot of reasons, not the dieting reasons. That's why I always hesitate to say this because, you have to understand when I say, oh, step on the scale every day. Well, most people are thinking, oh, as a dieter, stepping on the scale is shit. But in Program Yourself Thin, when I say step on the scale every day, I'm saying step on the scale every day with a different mindset. So that's the key part. But the anxiety I get, but that brings me to a point that to me personally, I think that the scale, not only does it give you direct data of where you're at, but it's also a wonderful tool to help you work through the emotional piece of the weight puzzle here. So the anxiety, for example, what ends up happening is there's a philosophical concept called Schrodinger's cat. And so basically what this means is I'll keep the real simple version. The basic idea is that there's a box with a cat in it. Is it alive or dead? Well, until we look in the box, we don't know, right? It's both. And it's this strange state of being where it's like, it's both are possible until we open the box and find out which one's reality. And so it always makes me think of the concept of like Schrodinger's scale. And so for Azra, that's what you're experiencing now in your mind. You're not going to step on the scale because you're feeling anxious about what it's going to say. But what you're doing is you think stepping on the scale is the anxiety, but you're living in the anxiety right now because your mind is thinking about what that number is going to be. And guess what your mind's doing? It's not thinking about a good low number. It's thinking about some crazy high number. And so I dealt with this so many times. So what's happening is you think by not stepping on the scale, you're reducing anxiety, when in reality, you're maximizing anxiety. Because what happens? So you step on the scale, it's 20 pounds. Holy shit. Now you're sad and you're depressed, but at least you're in the realm of reality. Because right now you're not in the realm of reality. You're maximizing anxiety. Because most of the time, what I have found personally and with my clients is when they step on the scale, it's less than they were thinking in their head. Most of the time. Sometimes it's more, obviously. But most of the time, it's less than what they were thinking. And if that was the case, Azrael, let's just say you've got some number in your head. You have some idea what you think it's going to be. And that's fucking with you all day long. What if it's half of that? You said, now you've reduced the anxiety. And by the way, the more anxiety you experience, the worse your eating is going to be, most likely. So again, the avoiding the scale thing and not using the scale strategically, again, huge mistake almost all dieters make. So, but I feel you. I get it. It's common too. What's up, Lacey? Having weight loss surgery. I tried so hard to change my mindset for 2 years. Need extra support. Yeah, well, best of luck with you. All right. Again, this is a support system. I work with people who've gotten surgery, that are on the medications, all of it. I would like to know what you've done to change your mindset, though. That would be my big question. Because when I read that I've tried so hard to change my mindset for 2 years, like I want to know what you've done. Because I find I might have been doing this personally for 30 years. How did I change my mindset, by the way? Well, the first thing I did is I started to learn about what I consider to be the most powerful mindset technologies, which are hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, yoga. I think those are the 3 most powerful ones, and personal development psychology. But then the key thing I did to change my mindset was I began to speak with people that successfully lost weight and kept it off. And that was the biggest thing I ever did, because I realized immediately that the mindset that I had as a dieter was completely different than the mindset of someone who had successfully lost the weight and kept it off. And that was really the beginning of how I'm here right now in front of you. So for someone to try and learn how to change their mindset on their own is almost like someone trying to learn how to speak Chinese on their own, learn to play piano on your own. How? You know what I mean? Like, you are a system, and it's very difficult to change that system if you can't get outside of it. Me learning about hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, the subconscious mind, yoga, meditation, personal development psychology was one way to stretch that. Speaking with people that successfully got the results I want was another way. And so I ask you, what have you done to change your mindset? Katie says Biden is looking at stopping the ban, and so is Trump. Timing is weird. One day before inauguration. It's so weird. I know they're freaking out because everyone's going to Red Note, and like I said, I've heard some funny things about that. Hey, okay, whatever. You're worried about the Chinese government spying on us. Well, there you go. Everyone's going over to that one, anyways. And then the other one is that that Red Note app, and this I'm looking forward to tonight to get in there, is that they were saying all of a sudden you get to actually communicate with Chinese people. So, that's interesting. It ain't North Korea. Now, I know we've all been, I don't want to get out of my depth here. I'm not a political person, so I don't want to sound ignorant here, and I think I will because I am ignorant about this. But a lot of times, places are demonized. And I'm not sitting here. Oops. But anyways, I'll leave it alone. I just hope they save it. So I'll leave it at that. Got no one to hold them, when to fold them, right? But I hope they save it. Lisa said, individual counseling, EMDR, hypnosis, 12-step journaling, spirituality. All right. So again, none of those things are change my mindset. I find this all the time. So again, take what you want. None of those things are about weight mastery. Hypnosis in and of itself, again, it's a step in the right direction. Boy, Lisi, I would hope, let me put this out. I would hope that, and again, I get that to get the surgery, but I will let you know this too, because I've worked with lots of people in the surgery. I don't know if Paula's here. Paula actually started my program. She had gotten the surgery, dropped 100. Let me get their story right. Paula got the surgery. She dropped 160 pounds, put 30 pounds on, got my program. Okay. Because you got to understand this, and I'm sure you know this, that when you get the surgery, a big number of people put the weight back on, which proves how important the mindset piece is. Because when you can put the weight back on when your stomach's this big, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just a physical thing. And so Paula got back and forth. I think her story is really interesting, actually, because it's almost a year I've been working with her. Yeah, it's been 1 year. And so she got in the program, and because she was freaking out, she put 30 pounds on after losing 160, and she's freaking out now because she's never in her life been able to maintain. So she lost 160 pounds and instantly started putting 30 pounds on, freaking out, heard me, got in the program. And what was interesting is for the first 7 months or so, 7-8 months, she showed up all the time. We talk, whatever. Got 7 months in, she goes, I haven't lost a pound. And I said, okay. And she goes, but I've never, ever in my life maintained my weight. She goes, I haven't gained a pound. And what was really fascinating is that it is just an example of the mindset piece that for her, and everyone's journey is so different, but for her, I believe that in her mind, she had to maintain first because she'd lost a bunch of weight. And I think she's saying, what's the point of losing weight if I can't maintain it? So I believe for her, maintaining was the most important thing. And so she maintained for 7 months, which was a huge success for her. And as soon as we talked about all that, then she started losing more weight. And now she's down some more and in a position to, again, dramatically move towards what you want. But the point I'm making is that the mindset's always going to be there. There's no escaping it, even if you get surgery, even if you're on the injections. So my point to you is, please, Lisi, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I put together, and watch the video I made. More importantly, it's all free. Okay. And then you'll get my emails as well, and they'll support you throughout your journey. Right. And I think they'll support you and they'll help you. Okay. But I can let you know that all those things you listed, because I'm a hypnotist, and I can tell you 99% of hypnotists are not going to help you lose weight. I learned this in the early days because my focus has always been weight. I've done generalized hypnosis stuff too, you know what I mean, in coaching, but my focus has always been weight. And I realized early on with hypnosis, you can't really be a generalist. You can know about hypnosis and help certain people with certain things, but if you're really going to help people with weight, you've really got to specialize in it. And so my 30 years personally, 20 years professionally, almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions have been focused on weight mastery. So my knowledge and understanding of weight mastery is far beyond, you know, I say everyone, but whatever. It's up for anyone else to decide. But what I'm saying to you, Lisi, is that go check my stuff out. It's different than what you've experienced. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. So I appreciate your action taking, by the way. All right, but go check my stuff out because I think you'll find that it's different than what you've heard. With TikTok potentially heading out, where can we listen to your lives? Yes, the lives, Instagram, and I like Instagram. I don't like this. I feel like Mark Zuckerberg's in the back room handing out money to ban this shit because again, I said this yesterday. The social media, the currency of social media is attention, eyeballs, and TikTok's a huge drain on that. And so I do not believe the security threat as much as I believe the business threat to primarily big old Meta over there and Google as well. But that's what I think. I'm conspiracy minded with some of this stuff. So I'm right or I'm wrong. I don't know. But so I will be on fucking Instagram though. And, I'll be over there. But hopefully they'll save TikTok so I can primarily be here. But I love Instagram too. Okay, I don't know. I like Instagram. I don't like this whole thing leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So whatever. He says, my mindset feels improved, but the hunger cues are nonstop. Hoping surgery helps bring it all together. Yeah. Okay, Lisi, that's what I'm talking about. Because I always say in Program Yourself Thin, we use a dual edge approach, mindset and strategy. You need both of them. You can't just have some magical mindset. By the way, you need to have real rock solid strategies. So in Program Yourself Thin, we follow the weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating. And so mindset's at the bottom, and it is the foundation for the rest of it. But you absolutely need lifestyle strategies and you need eating strategies. Not me telling you, oh, eat this, Lisi, but you figuring out what works for me. And so in Program Yourself Thin, I don't tell you what to eat. I show you how to figure out what to eat for you. Because I can't just sit here, oh, eat this. If that worked, none of us would be here. We'd just be doing diets. So you got to figure out what works for you, what works for your quality of life, what works for your preferences, what works for your weight goals that you want to achieve. And the hunger cues, I will tell you, I will say this, and I'm sure you've explored the injections, but when it comes to hunger, the injections are, in my opinion, a better solution for, now I'm not a doctor. But if you're talking hunger, the injections are going to be a better strategy than the surgeries. The surgeries aren't going to affect your hunger as much as what they affect is your inability. You can't eat as much, but again, I would think in my experience, the injections for most people are going to be a better solution than the surgery. But I'm sure you've explored this and I'm sure you got your reasons. But again, regardless, ultimately, it's not just mindset. I always say this, that I got a rock solid mindset. I mean, I do this shit. I've been doing this for 30 years. My mindset's rock solid. But if you knock my lifestyle piece out, and so when I talk about lifestyle, I'm talking about 8 specific things in order of importance: my sleep, hydration, relaxation, breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. You fuck those things up in my life, my eating falls apart almost instantly. So it's not enough. A mindset's not enough. I want to make that clear. It's the most important piece ultimately, but it's a piece. And there's got to be a lifestyle strategy. I truly believe that, because the lifestyle, see, the mindset is kind of like, it is physical, but it's kind of like non-physical. Let's just think of it that way. The mindset's kind of this non-physical thing. And then in the physical world, in terms of our body, biochemistry, weight, metabolism, that really comes down to lifestyle, eating. And we need the proper lifestyle. Your lifestyle will affect your hunger Now, again, the lifestyle I'm talking about, so I'm talking about nourishment. So it kind of does have that piece of the eating in it. But the lifestyle is going to affect your hunger more than almost anything. Your mindset plays a part too, but your lifestyle is going to probably have the biggest impact. I mean, eating's part of it too, but you got to nourish yourself right. But if you nourish yourself right with those other 7 lifestyle habits, that's going to have a bigger impact on your hunger than probably anything. You're hungry. Americans are more hungry than anyone else because we're more stressed. We sleep less. We're dehydrated. We don't move enough. Our brain's all over the place. We're not grateful. We're not nourishing ourselves. We're not relaxed. We're not breathing right. That is affecting your hunger more than almost anything else. So it drives me crazy. I mean, that's the injections now too, is the idea of like this, the injections deal with food noise, right? But there are a lot of natural ways to deal with food noise. I've been focusing and dealing with food noise for 30 years over here. Anyways. Killjoy says, I've seen another hypnosis weight loss program online. It wasn't good. The session told you exactly what to eat in a way like someone would hypnotize you into barking like a dog when you hear a bell. Yeah. I mean, again, I want to support my hypnosis colleagues, but then I'm always loyal to my no bullshit oath here. And the truth is, hypnosis alone isn't going to change your weight. Let me put it this way. I have a hypnosis only program that I sell almost. I don't want to do it because I want to sell. I like the mastery program. You gotta be part of this. But if you listen to the hypnosis program I put, now again, my hypnosis program is the #1 hypnosis program on the planet. And I guarantee this, if you find a better hypnosis program than mine, a more comprehensive one, I'll give you $250. Fuck it. I'll give you $500. You find a more comprehensive hypnosis program than mine, I will PayPal you $500. I'll Venmo you $500. You're not going to find it, but could knock yourself out. Okay. I've looked at them all. And first off, what you're going to find, you're going to get a couple sessions. If you think you're a couple sessions away from living at a low weight for the rest of your life, you need more than hypnosis. Okay. It's again, it's a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole thing. So my program is 8 weeks. And what I do is I create a little hypnotic cocoon for you. So first of all, my program, it's 8 weeks. It's probably less expensive than all these other programs. And I give you every single morning, you get a 5-minute hypnosis session with a different weight loss mantra in it. Every week you get a 10-minute hypnosis session with a core weight loss mantra. And you listen to that one repeatedly. And then you got a hypnosis library there's another 25 session, which that alone is worth, that alone is better than any session program you'd ever get. I get the gastric bypass. I got all the sessions are in there as well, just as supplements. But the core is the system. It's each and every day waking up 5 minutes, starting relaxed and calm, hearing good stuff put into your head. And then at night, kind of bookending that with that core weight loss mantra. And the purpose of this is that I'm installing a thin and healthy mindset into your subconscious mind. And so if you get that program and listen to that for the 8 weeks, I guarantee you lose weight. It's a guaranteed program. Now, if you want to master it, if you want to actually keep the weight off long-term, you got to engage more. And that's my mastery program. And that's why I show you the program yourself then technique. It's basically a self-hypnotic technique. You do it yourself. It takes a minute or two. You do it at night. And that's a crucial piece. And then there's the weight mastery blueprints where we go through the pyramid, where I take you through the mindset pieces, the lifestyle piece, the eating pieces, so that you can customize them, install them in your own life. And there's a workbook and there's trainings to take you through that whole thing. But again, it's a higher level commitment. And then I have coaching. But, again, hypnosis, I've never seen a good hypnosis weight loss program out there. Even mine, which I think is amazing. Again, I guarantee you'll lose weight. Will you keep it off? Well, there's usually you need to go deeper. Not everyone. I sell it because people just want to lose weight. So there it is. You'll lose weight. But again, the commitment to the mastery thing. I mean, if you're really serious, you're serious, Lacey, obviously, But yeah, the hypnosis programs, they're kind of suck. Because it's not up to the task. I mean, you can't because most hypnotists don't even have the knowledge, they don't have the system. I've done, I was saying this yesterday that I clone myself. Part of my program, my mastery program, is that you get access to, I call it Gym AI. And it's literally an AI clone of me. And I cloned it on 14 million words I took the last 2 years of my podcasts, my coaching calls, of trainings I did, and I put them in this thing. 14 million words. So when you work with it, it's literally like working with me. And I just say that to you because just sitting there and hypnotizing you and telling you happy horse shit is not going to do the job. It might make you feel good for a little while, but it's not the task of mastering your weight. And so I'm not just using hypnosis. I'm using hypnosis to deliver a custom-made strategy and system that I built and been working on and keep working on for 30 years. You're not going to find a lot of because I'm not just a hypnotist, I'm a coach. So it's like you're going to find a lot of hypnotists that have done almost 6,000 weight loss coaching sessions. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of me. So, again, I don't need to get let's be a Jim's Amazing moment here, but what's Ezra saying? So Ezra saying, I'm going to get to that right now. Where is it? Ezra says, I spent a month visiting my sister who is naturally thin, and I analyzed her eating habits. She would. I thought you were going to say what she did, but yeah, that's a great job. Again, Ezra, that's what we're doing, right? In Program Yourself, then we're always role modeling. We're role modeling our good stuff ourselves that we do, and we're role modeling other people to get the results we want. We're noticing what they do. A huge part of the program. So that's great, Ezra. Again, you'll probably learn a lot from that. Don says, do not use your phone number. Get a Google one. Remote is not the safest for. Okay, interesting. Don says, I did the same thing with a friend. It was very eye-opening. Yeah, Don, we talked about it. Yeah. So, and again, that's what we're talking about is it's the subtle strategies that really, again, dieters all want quick fixes, hacks, fast stuff. But, weight mastery is just like any other mastery. Playing the guitar, you can't rush the process. Time is a piece of mastery. And so it's noticing the subtle things. But yeah, that's a great, great, great strategy. Yep. Ezra said, yeah, it really opened my eyes to how much I was eating while expecting to lose weight. Oh, see, that's great, Ezra. Again, we want to be, it's right back to the scale thing. We want to get out of the bullshit in our head. Katie, we're talking about this the other day, that the biggest challenge we all have when we want to change something in our lives is our own ignorance. We always tend to believe like, oh, what I'm doing is right. What I'm doing is right. It's just not working. But what I'm doing is right. I'm doing everything I can. It's just not working. That's very rarely the case. It's almost always more that you're not doing the right thing, but you think you are. And so not only are you not doing the right thing, but you're also blind to it. So again, very powerful to look at other people and see what they're doing and realize, oh shit. Oh my God, what was I thinking? That's a great place to be. It stings a little. I get it, but it's a great place to be because now you're in the real world and now you can correct the problem and move forward. Right? So it's insane that our lawmakers who are supposed to do what we want are pushing this through. Yeah, I agree. And of all the things that are wrong in the world and all the challenges to have come together and pass this thing, it just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. It really bothered me. He says, so true. Tennis shoes on, I move more. Tennis shoes off, I sit. Yes. Work at home, I'm more hungry. Yes, Lacey, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's noticing. See, most of our behavior, again, Program Yourself is built on the idea that we have a conscious and a subconscious mind. The subconscious part of our mind runs our habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which is to say our subconscious mind runs our weight. And it's triggered by a lot of little subtle things. Things like how often do I have my shoes on versus when do I have them off? When am I working at home versus when am I working at the office? And so there's a lot of little subtle things, environmental cues that are in the background driving us without us realizing it. So a lot of Program Yourself then is about becoming aware of those subtle things and setting them up so they support us instead of working against us. So I sit in front of you. I've lost 50 pounds. And I kept it off for 30 years. I won blip 12 years ago. But I sit here in front of you, keeping the weight, staying at my goal weight on near autopilot, because I programmed all these little subtle things to work for me rather than against me. But I'm glad you realized that, Lisa, because it's the little things like that that have the biggest difference. Lisa says, I feel like I have to change everything about how I've been living. I don't know if you have to change everything, but yeah, you probably got to change a lot of stuff. This is why you don't need to rush it though. There's no rush. If dieters could just cut the shit, just calm down. And so I'll give you an example, right? In Program Yourself Thin, one of the big differences between Program Yourself Thin and a diet is diets, it's always about improving 100% in one day, right? You start your diet on Monday 100% better. I'm eating perfect. I'm exercising. I'm doing everything's perfect until it's 100% not perfect anymore, right? In Program Yourself Thin, we get 1% better every day. Because again, hey, listen, if you could just change tomorrow into someone else, if you just change your whole lifestyle tomorrow and it worked, I'd be telling you to do that. But it doesn't work. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm going to realize the reality of the situation. I'm going to say, I know we all want to change everything tomorrow, of course, but you can't. So the next best thing is let's just change a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day. And again, 1% better a day is not even 365% better at the end of the year. It's exponentially better because each percent improves on the percent before it. And that's the strategy. Again, what I said earlier, that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. So in Program Yourself Thin, we're always looking to extend our time frame, extend the time frame. And that's what you got to do even with a weight loss surgery. Because again, what I'm trying to tell you is that look at the people that get the surgery and put the weight back on. How's that possible? How the fuck can you lose all that weight and then put it all back on when your stomach's this big? When you can't eat more than this much food or you throw up, how can you put the weight back on? You know how you put the weight back on? You just start grazing all day long. Or you get real extreme, you start blending your food so you can drink the calories. Again, until the mindset's fixed, I haven't seen the injections, you know what I mean? I'll give the injections that. So that's why I say I would go the injection route over the surgery route every day of the week, or at least first. And of course, obviously I do Program Yourself Thin first, because even at the end of the day, I'll let you know this, it ain't even about the weight. It's not. The weight's a piece of the puzzle, but it's not only the weight. If just being, your weight is a means to an end, right? It's not the end in of itself. Because if it was, if just being a number on a scale was like, oh my God, everything's amazing, then no one would ever put the weight back on. But instead, we get 95% of people that get to that amazing weight, put the weight back on. So what the fuck? And it's because it's not the weight. Just like money's a means to an end. It's not the end in of itself. Because I don't know, Jim, that's bullshit. If I was making $1 million a year, you couldn't tell me anything. Yeah, well, what if I give you a job for $1 million a year, but the job is to rob old people? You feel more conflicted now, right? Well, it's the same thing with the weight loss. When you do these extreme things, yeah, your weight's going down, but it's a reduced quality of life in a lot of situations. And that's not what you want. So Program Yourself Thin is about taking your weight loss and wrapping in personal development. We did the first lesson on Tuesday. We just kicked off the new year. We started a week late because I was gone last week. But the first lesson is the best you. Who is the best you? Who's Lisi when she's thriving? Not who's Lisi when she's X amount of pounds. You know what I mean? Because when you think of yourself as the best version of you, the weight is a piece of that, but it's a piece of that within a bigger context. And the bigger context is what matters. So it's not enough just if it was, everyone would just diet. But what happens when you go on a diet, you get to your goal weight. So why do people put the weight back on? Because their quality of life usually is lower. Even though the weight went down, their quality of life went even lower. They don't like how they're eating. They don't like how they're living. And so they go back to what they were, where they felt happier. And then the weight goes back up. So what we're looking to do is to use this weight loss that you want to achieve as an opportunity to develop yourself, to become the person you want to be mentally, relationship-wise, work-wise, financially, personal development, adventure-wise, whatever's important to you in your life. We want to make you better at all these things. And that's what you always hear the Program Yourself Thin people, is that it's not just the weight thing. We're using what we're learning in the program in all the areas of our lives to improve our relationships, our health, our happiness, our relaxation, our finances, all the stuff that's important to you, because all of those things rely on your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. It's a bigger picture. The ideal is, and this may sound strange to you all, but the ultimate is to have the weight loss be secondary. Have the weight loss not be the main thing. I know it sounds weird, but the fucking weight loss isn't the main thing you want. If it was, you know how many people in the world, they get sick, they get some terminal illness, they lose weight. Are they happy? Of course not. It's not just the weight loss. That's not just what you want. And that's a big trick that a lot of dieters are trapped in. That you want more than that. So it's important to realize that. Rachel said, it took me 2 months to eliminate my nighttime eating and 7 months to comfortably moderate my wine drinking. It's worth it to invest the time. So glad I did. Yeah, of course. Because Rachel, and there's no 7 months. Oh, 7 months. What the fuck, man? Where were you last year with your weight and your eating? Time keeps moving forward. All right. So time keeps moving forward. Be more patient and let's strategically fix something once and for all. So the difference with Rachel is that she has eliminated, she's in the program. So it's like, it's not that she stopped eating at night because I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat tonight. I'm not going to eat tonight. It's not that. She's resolved it. And the wine drinking is even more interesting because the wine drinking just kind of naturally lessened without even trying. that's the really, that's the holy grail of change. When you start to transform and change easily, comfortably, naturally, So great job, Rachel. Again, I'm proud of you with that. It's exciting to hear that. Azra said, I no longer get your emails. What happened? I've got no idea, Azra, and that's a whole nother thing. What I will say, Azra, please, because I know you're in the program, so shoot me an email because the good news is that the good news is there's an app now. The bad news is I might change it. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know why these things have to be this way. But hey, I was thinking that I don't talk about. At some point in my life, I will do some work. I think because I'm so passionate about it too. I don't really do a lot of entrepreneur talk here. Obviously, it's a weight loss thing, but entrepreneurism is my secondary passion. Personal. My family's number one by a mile, but then there's weight and health, and then there's being an entrepreneur. And so I will say, everything I talk about here with the weight I use for my business, and because running a business, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? Like it's always these dreams of everything being perfect, but at the end of the day, it's the day-to-day bullshit. You just keep dealing with bullshit. And so you got to keep moving forward. But anyway, Azra, that's a long way to say, just shoot me an email and I will look up your email, see what's going on there. And then I'll send you a link to get you in the app that we have right now, which is, it's really awesome ish. And, it's going to keep getting better and we'll get you right back on track and then go step on the scale. Yeah. All right, let me get to these. I missed a couple comments. Don says, sorry, typos. I'm in software and the issue at Rednote is on China server where no encryption. So one's phone number, they can access your apps, including banks, so do not use the same passwords you use. Oh, interesting. Katie says, I think whoever wants to have our data pretty much has it already. There have been countless breaches. Yeah. What's up, Christina? Hi, Jim. Will I be able to join today's call? Yeah, absolutely, Christina, for sure. All right. One Traveler on week 3, program yourself thin. Nice job. I hope you're doing well with it. And by the way, if you're in the program, again, there's a couple different levels of the program, but if you're in the Hypnosis version or the Mastery version, again, if you're in the Mastery program, you get access to that live call every Tuesday. And you can ask me questions in there. But if you're on the Hypnosis program, if you've been a client before, feel free to ask questions here about the program, because I'm happy to kind of guide you through it now, here, support you, help you, coach you. That's it. Bottom line, Jim's Hypnosis has me losing my final 10 pounds without stress. That's awesome. Screenshot that. I like that. It's an awesome job, Don. Yeah, the hypnosis is really powerful. Again, I know I was kind of shit talking a little bit. I think hypnosis is extremely powerful, but I do think hypnosis as a supplement. Like I don't think it can do all the work for good. I think that I can absolutely make you lose weight. I guarantee it. If you listen to my hypnosis program, I guarantee that you'll lose weight. Okay. But again, losing weight and keeping it off are two different things. And the keeping it off takes a little bit more. But again, Dawn's done a ton of work. She's here all the time. And yeah, but the hypnosis is program yourself thin is top. It's so good. It's just crazy. It's so good. Yeah, Don said, yeah, making a secondary work for me. Yeah, exactly. It does for most people. And the reason being that, the idea of like just wanting to waste something is really rooted in the idea that you want to look better, which in our world is called an extrinsic motivator. Extrinsic motivators are the weakest form of motivation. So typically wanting to look better, as much as you think it should be motivating, it's usually not enough motivation for people. And so, again, another way to kind of frame making the weight loss secondary is that you're making something else even more important. And what could that something else be? Well, that's something else. I would like it to be health, but for some reason, health is just not a good motivator. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's the weirdest thing. How long you're going to live and your quality of life while you're alive. For some reason, it just does not seem to motivate people. I don't get it, but, it is what it is. But so what's the other motivator be? Well, it could be, for me, it is enough of a motivator, but again, my father died when he was 54 and I was 9. So it's the most traumatic thing I've experienced. So obviously that experience makes me a bit of an outlier, and wanting to live past 54 is a huge motivator for me and has been since I was 9. So, but for the average person, it's just not much of a motivator for whatever reason. But that is my pain-based motivator. I don't want to die when I'm 54. The pleasure-based motivator is really, a lot of it for me is what matters to me most. My family, my relationship with my wife, my kids, my friends, my family, my business. You know what I mean? I love what I do. I love it, and it's not just how I make money. That's part of it, but it's more, I just love what I'm doing, and I love growing. I love making it better all the time. And I love helping people and making a difference in the world and having an impact. I'm obsessed with it. And so that's really my North Star, is the relationship with my family, the things I'm able to do for them and with them, the adventures I'm able to go on with them, the support I'm able to offer them in all different ways. My business, you know what I mean? Like, these things are so exciting to me, and I've got them directly attached to my weight and my health. And so that's the horse I've hitched my wagon to that really motivates me. And then all those things allow me to be at the weight I want to be at, so I can look the way I want to look. But it really is a secondary thing, Um, um, Don says, I'm as well. Rue says, been following you since Christmas and you have massively helped. Lost 7 pounds so far. I'm feeling great. Nice job, Rue. Nice job. That's great. Yeah, make sure that all of you, again, follow me is great. And by the way, well, I say follow me, I'll see what happens, but follow me anyways. But make sure you get in my email list. That's the big one. Cause like I was saying, regardless, so just go to my little bio pic there, click the link in there, go get the hypnosis session. Cause once you do that, you're on my email list, and you get a lot of cool stuff already. But I got some really cool thing coming. Oh, I hope next week. I got some shit that fell in my lap that I got to deal with. But within the next week or two, what I got for you all is I'm going to give you all access to Gym AI. And it might even be a video version. I didn't tell you this, right? I got a video version of me coming. So right now it's a chat, or you can literally talk to me. It's like talking to me. But what's coming right down the pike here is literally it's like, you're going to be looking at me like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I'll literally be able to coach you. And what I'm going to coach you with for free is how to choose the right goal weight. Because I realized, I said to myself, like, what's the one thing I could help people with that could give them the most bang for their buck? What's the number one thing I could help people with that would help them the most? And I came up with choosing the right goal weight. Because again, most people have no idea how to choose the right goal weight. So I'm going to set up, it's kind of cool, this clone of me, which my clients get right now. And again, a little shout out for the Thrive program. If you've been through the mastery program, and you're looking for a little extra support, the Thrive program is kick ass. And at this point, it's $97 a month, but I've added literal coaching calls with the actual me every Monday. Now again, they're quicker. They're not the same as the group ones. They're a little bit quicker, but still, I get to know you. I get to understand you. I get to help you. And again, it's a new program I just kicked off, so it's not that busy, crowded yet. So you do get some attention for a very, very good price. So anyways, I put that out there. But anyways, just for free, I'm going to have this AI go out there, and it's going to help you create your goal weight. And that's going to be really helpful. So make sure you get on my email list. One Traveler, can I get a link to the app? Yes, One Traveler, please shoot me an email, jim@programyourselfthin.com, and I'll get you hooked up with that. I sent it out somewhere along the way. I mean, you could search your email. If you go into your email, if you keep it and you search, because you said 3 weeks. Yeah, I would have sent it out by then. If you search Circle and my name, or just Circle, it'll probably come up. And if you can't find it, just shoot me an email and I'll get you the link. So you get that. Yeah, I'm learning so much about myself. That's so awesome, One Traveler. I'm really happy about that. That's so awesome. That's the point of it. So that's really good. And it is the Circle app in the App Store. So you definitely want to get the app, but you need to get, like, you need my link to be able to get access to the Program Yourself Thin within it. So, but if you have any issues, just shoot me an email. I'll help you out. Get on there. It's easy to do. So I'll help you with that. Bruce says, what do you feel about BMI? Do you think that is a good indicator of what goal weight to aim for? Yes and no. I think the BMI is a part of that puzzle. I know people have their issues with BMI, and I get that. But me personally, I'm aiming to be smack dab in the middle of the healthy BMI thing. That's what I want to do. Now, I'm a weight master, so I don't want to say you can be in the overweight category and be extremely healthy. Randomly, you can be in the obesity category and be extremely healthy. But so that's why I say I don't think the BMI is the end all be all, but I do think it's a piece of the puzzle. I think it's something that you ought to at least reference to some degree. But ultimately, where the goal weight comes down to is it's really got to be based around your quality of life. And so, if getting to a certain BMI makes you miserable and you don't enjoy living that way, then that cannot be your goal weight. Okay. And so I think that we got to take that piece into account as well. And that's why, listen, I'll be the first to admit that choosing the right goal weight it's a little more challenging than you may think, and that's why I'm going to have Jim AI kind of walk you through it with a certain process that I use with my clients. All right. Very good. All right. Super. So yeah, get on there, One Traveler, because the app's awesome-ish. I keep saying that. It really is. It's good. It's kind of new. And so there's a little bit of bugginess with it. And oh my God, this is, I will be honest, I'll be upfront here. One of my weaknesses in life, a friend who I worked with years ago used to call me Jungle Jim. And, I say this all the time, Program Yourself Thin is really for overthinkers. I am absolutely an overthinker. I'm just, and that causes just like, I'll make this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and I'll do that. And that's my challenge in life, personally. And so here I am already telling you, but maybe it's a gift from the universe, because it doesn't, I'm not going to the details, but anyways, so the app is really good, but there's some core kind of functionality issues with it that you won't notice when you get in there. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. But potentially there might be a better solution. But this is a challenge. Hey, listen, I say this to you all with the weight, it's like, it's called the planning fallacy. It's a cognitive bias we all have, that when we first start something, our brain just thinks of the best case scenario. So as you get an app, oh, I'm like, okay, this app's going to work out. It's going to be great. And you do it. Then you actually get into it and you're like, oh, it works pretty good. But then this thing's not working. Oh, here's an issue. Oh, it's showing up that. Oh, no. And then you either got to kind of get through it, or you say, well, is there something else? And so anyways, but regardless, what you think you're going to do to get to the ultimate goal is usually wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's been that way in pretty much every area of my life, but especially weight, health, and business. It's like the idea is, oh, I'm going to get there by just doing this. It's very rarely. It's usually, you think it's going to be like, okay, I'm starting here. I'm going to get here. Whoop. But instead it's more like I'll start here and then I'll, oh, finally got here, And so I wish it wasn't that way, but it usually is. So I think understanding that right from the beginning is probably helpful, because I think it manages your expectations to be more accurate and to kind of deal with that bullshit more effectively. So anyways, none of you care about that probably. But anyways, the app's awesome. Get in there. And at the very least, if there is a new app, it'll be a better app. But the point is, it's all going to serve you. It's all there to serve you so that you get better and better results. You feel more and more supported and held. That's what I want for you with this app. I want to create a cocoon. I always say that. I want to create a weight mastery cocoon for you, where you go inside of there and you kind of get in there, and you listen to the good words. You start all of a sudden acting different. You start noticing your weight coming off. That's my goal for you. And I'm always looking to make it as easy and as accessible and as effective as possible. And so it requires me to constantly kind of keep pushing a bit. That's what I'm doing. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Follow me wherever you are. I guess follow me on TikTok. Maybe they'll save it. If not, I am on Instagram. Remember that. You can look up Program Yourself Thin on Instagram, though. That's the Instagram account. I do have a Jim Katsoulis account, but what you would want to see if you're interested in the weight loss piece is Program Yourself Thin on Instagram. So if you are looking for me, and yeah, you can still find these lives if they do kick us out of here. So yeah. And then, but most importantly is go get on my email list. All right. Click the link in my bio, take a minute, answer a couple questions. There you go. You're there. You'll get, I send you emails every day. They're free. I think they're good. You'll get a free hypnosis session. You get a couple of them actually. You'll get, a video I made, a training that's really, really good, and check all that stuff out. All free. I'll help you out. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a super duper day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.